Good morning, friends. Jay is here, and today I thank you for joining me for our inaugural edition of Coffees and Consoles. So here's what we're going to be doing. Daily, or as often as I can manage daily, we're going to have a morning discussion. Today's is about 5 PS2 games that I think you should pick up in 2025. But we're also going to have a delicious coffee together, and I'm going to try to always have a new one to try out and kind of get a little coffee nerd with you, but then we'll get to the games. And each day I'm going to want to take a look at one piece of news that I want to cover or espouse my opinion on. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I look forward to great comments with you guys and trying to be more consistent, because one of the problems I've had with my channel is inconsistency, so we are trying to work on that. So, without further ado, this morning we have the beautiful, once a legend, always a legend, The Legend of Zelda Cup, and today we have Green Mountain Caramel. Now, I did consider doing an old Irish recipe where caramel coffee gets a pat of butter instead of milk, but I didn't want to ruin it in case it wasn't good for our first episode. So, I went with a little bit of milk, not too much though, because I do want to maintain some of that black coffee taste. So let's have a bit. Wow. It's actually pretty good. So, with the amount of milk I put in, you can really still taste that black coffee bite with just that hint of the caramel sweetness that Green Mountain has injected into that coffee. So, I highly recommend it. And maybe another time, we're going to try the butter caramel coffee, because that sounds interesting. But I didn't want to wreck it in case it was real gross for our first time. So, we'll be sipping on that throughout the episode. But before I get to the games, I did want to talk about something I came across from when I was looking through IGN, and then one of my friends shared it on Discord as well. And that is our good friend, Randy Pitchford. Randy Pitchford had something to say. And he said, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. Now, when he said you'll find a way to make it happen, he's talking about the $80+ price tag on Borderlands 4. Let me tell you, that is really disappointing, because after seeing the trailers and some of the character designs for Borderlands 4, I was pretty excited. And now I am not. And almost on principle, I will not partake in the game. Guys, I'm a huge video game collector. My collection ranges from, Atari and ColecoVision, all the way up to your Switch and PS5. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I am what you would consider a whale for a collector. And that is someone who spends an inordinate amount of money on games. And in the Switch generation, I think I'm currently at like 411 games. And like I said, I've never wanted to brag on the channel or anything, but I make a good amount of money. I'm not here to brag about it, but I have what I want. And honestly, this looks like the last generation that I'm going to partake in this. I did not pre-order the Switch 2. I currently have no interest in the Switch 2. I think that Nintendo's pricing policies and business practices are obscene. And I don't think they are alone in that crime. I think that Microsoft and Sony are out of control. And obviously, folks like Mr. Pitchford are out of control. So, here's the deal. When I look back at something like the Wii, right? There was a lot of controversy when the Wii came out. They said, oh my god, it's aimed at casual gamers, right? So a lot of your more hardcore gamers or collectors will not be interested in it, all right? But here's the deal. The Wii was still good business, because even though you may have lost some of the collectors and hardcore gamers, you gained a massive amount of casual gamers. Grandmas and grandpas, moms and dads, people who never played games, who felt comfortable with the Wii's motion controls as much as I hate them. But that was a sound business decision, whether we liked it as gamers and collectors or not. But here's the difference. You are going to lose people like me and at the price point you are offering the Switch 2 and the games for it, you will not replace my whale purchases with casual gamer purchases. You are losing someone that is integral to your business. And I'm not the only one. I've talked to many people who have massive Switch libraries who will not be partaking in this console generation, at least at first, but a few of us, not at all. It would take some big changes in their business practices and pricing structure to get me interested in being involved with the Switch 2. But with that being said, guys, I just want you to be smarter consumers. Don't fall for it. Don't let Randy Pitchford tell you that you should pay $80 or $100 for a game. Don't do it. I'm not gonna lie, I like Borderlands. I liked Borderlands 3 when it came out. I loved Borderlands 1 and 2. I liked the stories. I liked all the DLC. Everything was good. But we cannot allow people to dictate this kind of pricing structure. We just can't. We just can't. And I think a lot of people, one final point before we get to the games, which is what this is supposed to be about. People always talk about inflation, and they'll talk about tariffs and all this stuff. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand this sector of economics. So if you have inflation, but you're talking about staples, you're talking about bread, milk, eggs, butter, things that we need, water, right? When you're talking about the cost of those things at a grocery store, or gasoline, or heating oil, right? Those are things that we are unwitting victims to because they are staples. Now, thankfully, right, a lot of those things do have government regulation, so they can't be abused or inflated to crisis levels. But any video game spending is discretionary spending. It is extra money that you are spending once you have fulfilled all of your vital needs. So, when Sara Lee has to raise the price of bread because of increasing costs of their ingredients or transportation, we unwittingly have to suffer through that. We don't really have another option. You can't boycott bread. We need bread. We need milk. We need gasoline. You can reduce your consumption of those things, but you can't completely do away with them. But here's the deal. Discretionary spending, such as video games, you have complete control over whether you spend them or not. Whether you spend money on them or not. So, when I'm looking at a backlog of thousands and thousands of games, all quality, all complete, all things I would love, why would I go and give Nintendo $600-700 for all the bits and baubles that go along with the Switch 2? Why would I pay them $80 for games? Why would I pay $60 for game key cards? Why am I going to buy an Xbox that suddenly costs $125 more? It makes no sense. I won't partake in it, and you shouldn't either. Now, granted, I can't tell you how to spend your money, and I'm actually not about shaming. You know, I got into a couple arguments with people on like Twitter, and I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. I feel kind of shady telling people that they shouldn't do this or that, but I highly suggest you look at what's being offered to you and if it's really worth it. And if you want to be a part of the future that is leading to. So, with that being said, let's look at some games. So, with the dissatisfaction that we're having with the current console generation, I thought it would be cool for a couple of episodes of the series to look at games that are retro, but maybe we'll have some that are affordable, maybe we'll have some that are expensive and highly collectible, but they're definitely games of quality and about cool things. Whether they are in cool series, whether they are unique gameplay-wise, they're things that I think would be cool for you to check out either way. So today, we're going to look at PS2 games. So the first one I want to take a look at is Drakengard. Now, I'm a huge physical collector, so every time we go over games, good, bad, or ugly, we're going to have it right here. And if it's incomplete, I'll tell you what happened incomplete. But we're going to look at the manuals, we're going to show a little gameplay, and we're going to take a look at the game, look at the price, and help you possibly make a decision to check this one out. So, Drakengard, one of my favorite series. This one I went back to. I actually entered on the PS3 with Drakengard 3, which I absolutely loved until the rhythm game boss fight at the end. But wonderful series, and I greatly enjoyed this game upon revisiting. And beautifully complete. Love the manual art. The disc looking pretty. This one, price will be up on screen, is not too bad. So you can easily pick this one up for a decent price. Then, this one I just got. I picked this one up for $15. We'll see what it's actually worth. And this one is kind of something that you could use to get into the modern games in the series. And this is Phantom Braid on the PS2. So this one looking real nice. Okay, you can see I paid $19.99 for it. I don't think it's quite worth that much. I did buy it at a pretty high markup local store I go to, but it was in beautiful condition. So I absolutely love this. And you know, when I go to a physical game store, even if a game, say maybe is $10 on price charting, if they have it marked at 20, I'm happy to buy it and walk out with it in my hands. I get to look at it, I get to look at the manual, and people might say, dude, you're crazy for paying those kind of prices, that kind of markup. But that's not true. You're calling me crazy when you ordered a Switch 2. That is out of this world. I know what I'm getting. I'm getting a game that's complete on cart or CD, and I get to look at the condition and know exactly what I'm getting. So I have no problem paying a premium for that, and it keeps small businesses in business instead of supporting a giant, evil, greedy corporation. But yes, Phantom Brave, really cool to check out before you try the new game. So this one I was looking at a little yesterday, and this one is Shaman King, and this one is called Power of Spirit. So I was looking at the gameplay for this and played through a little bit myself because it had been many years, and I had forgot how neat the going back and forth between tactical and almost like fighting game mechanics. It's pretty cool. So you tactically move around the battlefield and engage the units that you want to, and then there's like a fighting game style battle that happens. So I really like it. The Shaman King universe is really cool. There's so many great characters and so many great character designs. And this is one of the ones that I love. If you look here, it still has the movie scene sticker on it. Now, some people might be like, oh, that's awful. That game's not worth as much anymore. To me, I don't see it that way. To me, this reminds me of when I got this. And when I actually got this was back when I was liquidating video stores as they were going out of business. So this would have been in like the, I don't know, late 2000s. And Video Update in my local town went out of business. And I went in there and snatched up as many PS2 games as I could at their liquidation prices. And this is one of the cool ones I grabbed. So whatever it's going to be worth, we'll show the value up on the screen. I probably paid $2 or $3 for it. So if it's worth $5, hey. But it's a fun game. It can get a little repetitive, but it's worth it for the awesome art style, the cinematics, and the unique tactical / fighting game back and forth. So definitely one to check out. Then we have one that I streamed last year, and I loved this one to death. And the character designs are so cool. And this one is Crimson Tears. So this one, we did stream on Twitch last year. We had a great time doing it. Look at that beautiful book, that beautiful CD. I love this stuff, man. I could spend all morning just looking through my PS2 collection and just looking at the manuals and seeing all the cool games. So this one is an RPG type progression, kind of hack and slash action, and it's by Capcom, so always pretty good. But yeah, really, really good stuff. So definitely check out Crimson Tears. The last one I wanted to point out to you is one that I think a lot of people haven't played, and it's from a series that is very popular in modern day collecting. And this one I picked up, I remember maybe last year or the year before, I wanted something unique to stream. So I was like, what can I get that would be something new that maybe people haven't seen, especially newer gamers. So I grabbed Atelier Iris Eternal Mana. And this game has such lovely sprites. It has such lovely character designs and such incredible humor. I love the art on the booklet. This is one of my favorite Atelier games. You honestly can't beat this. And I love it to death. It is so good. It has all the systems that you'd be looking for. It has the alchemy. It has the RPG combat. It has hilarious jokes in it. So good. And many people have not played any of the Iris games. So I definitely suggest picking this one up. This one was really fun to play through. Okay. And then we have one bonus. I think I said there was 5. But we have one more. And this one I streamed too. And I really, really liked this. And this is another one that I bought at my local gaming store. And it was totally worth it. So we'll give a little shout out to Bizarre Game Trading, okay, in Nashville, New Hampshire, okay. But I picked up this incredible game. If you love the anime, this game is just more of it with awesome role-playing goodness, and that is Inuyasha and the Secret of the Cursed Mask. It has the same awesome humor from the Inuyasha series, and this one is just so fun to play through. If I remember correctly, it gets pretty challenging. I want to say like the second or third dungeon when we were playing through was like going through like an old like Edo style Japanese mansion that was like supposedly haunted, and it was pretty hard. It was pretty challenging. So I really thought this was cool. I wish, does this one, I'm trying to see, I don't think this one still has the card. So these did come with a trading card. Unfortunately, I do not have that. But you can see the cool art in the book. So, what an amazing game, right? And I would say go back and check the VODs, but I'm pretty sure that might have been on Twitch, which I no longer use. But we'll have little tidbits of gameplay up on the screen. But guys, these are all incredible PS2 games. And I will always, always talk about how important PS2 is. PS2, to me, really drove home what the PS1 did. It improved on the RPGs that PS1 brought to the United States. It revolutionized sports games and action games and shooters. PS2 is a timeless console. And we can talk about the fact that, you know, it played the DVDs and people were buying it just for that. But it also ended up with an incredible library that's full of games of varying prices that you can definitely enjoy to this day. It's not that big of a drop-off graphically, and especially some of those pixel games are really, really good. So if you're looking for RPGs, those are definitely a couple to check out on the PS2. So, hey guys, I thank you for dropping by. We're going to be doing these every day. So remember, if you wanted to check out this coffee, it is Green Mountain caramel flavor. And I had just a touch of milk in it to take a little bit of edge off the black, but still had that bite. And yeah, be a smart consumer. Check out some PS2 games. Cheap, fun. Even the more expensive ones. Compared to what games are costing now, I'd rather pay $80 for Inuyasha RPG than I would for Mario Kart, the next iteration of Mario Kart, or something like that they're going to charge me, you know, $80 or more for. So yeah, that's where we're at. So I appreciate everyone coming out. I hope you enjoyed our new format, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new coffee, a new subject, and that great attitude. As always, stay creepy. Bye, guys.